when I started with animal communication, and I got these people calling me because their animal was in their last days, they didn't know, shall I put it down or not, or shall we wait, or how is the animal feeling? And I was a new animal communicator, and we talk with the being. So I
Yeah.
contacted the being, and the being was always told me, well, I'm fine. And
Mm,
then I told that to the people, well, the animal is fine. Well, no, not really. It's not eating, it's apathic. It's impossible that the animal is fine. And I started thinking, well, I'm doing something wrong here. And then I said, oh, people identify themselves with their bodies. Animals don't. And I make contact with the being.
yeah.
So obviously, if I ask the being, how are you? The being is good. It's fine.
Right. Even though their body's dying.
So I said, okay, so I need to change the question.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become the best possible versions of themselves and to strive for overall health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, all of the healths, without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who've been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time somebody shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast.
So, listeners, I am with Paloma Bärtschi, and we just met about 5 minutes ago. And can you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and why you think you are who you are?
Oh, well, so as you said, my name is Paloma Bärtschi. I live in Switzerland, and I'm an animal communicator and life energy consultant for animals. I've been doing this for the past 24 years professionally. I've been living the life of my dreams since I started that. So, yeah, I have always been drawn to the animals and to nature, and I always knew that I will be doing something with animals. Even when I was a child, I knew I wanted to do something with animals. So yeah, becoming an animal communicator was, yeah, I think what was the thing to do.
Yeah. So, can you explain exactly like what do you mean by animal communicator? Like you kind of learn their language or their body language. How does that work?
It works with telepathy.
Hmm.
So basically, we all are born with the with this language. I call it a language, really,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the language of the feelings. It's the language of the heart. And every baby communicates consciously on a telepathic level. The problem is the adults don't understand that anymore. And soon the baby realizes, well, I need to learn those strange sounds, which
Mm-hmm.
is called language.
Right.
And then it learns those strange sounds. And since, the conscious telepathy is no longer required, it sort of is put away. We don't forget things, we just put them away. And the good thing is, and the good news is that everybody can, bring it up again and start to use it, start to use the language of the feelings and the language of the heart again.
Hmm. I love that. And especially with animals, I'm a big animal lover too. And sometimes I feel like I know what they're saying, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
7 cats.
Perfectly.
I have 7 cats. Did you recently lost one of your animals, right?
I did, yes,
Uh,
yes. I had a small dog. She was over 20 actually.
Wow.
And yeah, we had to let her go on the 19th of March.
Hmm. That's always
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I lost my cat about 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
She woke me up randomly. She was only 9 and she was making weird sounds and then she just wasn't there anymore.
oh
So
wow.
yeah, it was so random. Um, but yeah, it always feels like, especially with animals, there's like always this chunk of us missing when they die.
Yes, they take a part with them, sort of.
Mhm.
Yes. But they will always have a special place in our hearts.
Mhm.
Each one
Yeah,
of them that has left has a special place in my heart.
yeah. So, was there ever like a specific moment in your life where you were like, I want to work with animals? Or is it just like you said, like, I always knew? Like, was there ever a specific moment where you just like, yeah, this is it for me?
I think I always knew.
Mhm.
I always knew that animals, I was always drawn to animals. I was always drawn to nature. Actually, ever since I was a child, I didn't want to eat meat
Hmm.
because animals are my friends and I'm not eating at friends. So,
Right.
so yeah, my parents had quite a hard time with me. I was forced to eat meat once a week. You know, like once a week I had to eat meat. The rest of the week I didn't have to eat meat. But that was that was a horror for me. That was terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I always knew that there was always this special connection to animals.
yeah. The not eating meat is a interesting conversation to bring up. Recently my son just found out that there's fish in his fish sticks. And
Oh,
and he was like, "Is it a whole fish?" I'm like, "Well, no, it's just, it's a fish." And then I don't remember what he said. It was something like, "Imagine chicken being in my chicken nuggets." And I was like, "Yeah." And so he's aware of it now. And so now he's like, we're giving him the option of, do you want to eat it or not? You know?
that's
So
good. That's very good. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll never force him to eat anything he doesn't want to eat. Um, maybe broccoli.
How
But
old is he?
he's 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
So he's
Hmm.
still young. He's still learning. Um, but yeah, just seeing the look on his face when he found out it's like a real fish that was in his fish stick. It was like,
Yeah.
it was almost
Yeah.
like, do I want to be eating this? So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. 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 When you give a child an apple or an animal, it's gonna bite into the apple. It's not gonna bite into the animal.
Hmm.
We should listen more to the children, really.
Yeah.
They have their connection to the earth and to life is more is stronger than the one we have as adults. You
Hmm.
know, they are not as conditioned as we are. We are programmed and conditioned, and so
Yeah. I know this isn't related to your work, but I work basically with clients who have been like programmed by diet culture, and I help them get back to intuitive eating. Like, we're all born intuitive eaters, and then the world teaches us this is good, this is bad, don't eat this, don't eat that, oh but eat that. And it's so confusing once you become an adult, that it's like, go back to the skills that we had. Like, they're still in you, you've shoved them down. but go back to like listening to your body. It'll tell
Oh,
you what
yeah.
it needs.
Yeah, I
So,
actually that reminds me of a story that my dad told me when I was about 5, 6 years old.
mhm,
I wanted to know how the body works. And my dad said, well, imagine your body is your kingdom, and you are the queen of your kingdom. And you have lots of different people in your kingdom. You have soldiers that come when you are attacked, like by a virus or so. They come and they fight. It's the immune system, obviously.
yeah,
And then when you fall on your knees and you hurt yourself, then you have the construction guys come and fix that. They fix the road again, like
yeah,
they explained it to me like that. And he said, and you're the queen of this kingdom, and your responsibility is to take care of your people. You have to
yeah,
be a good queen, and if you are a good queen, your people are going to take care of you. So learn to talk to your people.
mhm,
You need to talk to your people. So that story has stuck with me for the rest of my life. And
yeah,
I am very intuitive eater. I
mhm,
mean, I can, say, okay, I'm hungry now. So what do you need? I really talk to my body. I said, what do you need? What is it that you need right now?
yeah,
And then I look whether this is in the house or not. If it's not in the house, I say, well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get it, but right now it's not here. So what else?
yeah,
Otherwise I'll just eat it. So I don't plan my meals. So yeah.
yeah.
I
And one
totally
thing,
relate to intuitive eating.
yeah, and one thing I teach is like coming at it from a place of love, because the world teaches us to hate our bodies, and when you can take care of it from a place of love rather than like, I hate the way my body looks, so I'm gonna do XYZ, like, do it from love. Like, what can your body do? What has your body done for you in the past? What do you like? For me, that's the motivation for me to keep taking care of it for my future. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And basically our bodies are our vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies we are not our bodies. And you can learn that from the animals so well. We often identify ourselves with our bodies, but we are not our bodies. Animals don't identify themselves with their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
They see, they know that it's the vehicle. And do you know how I found out? When when I started with animal communication, and I got these people calling me because their animal was in their last days, they didn't know, shall I put it down or not, or shall we wait, or how is the animal feeling? And I was a new animal communicator, and we talk with the being. So I
Yeah.
contacted the being, and the being was always told me, well, I'm fine. And
Mm.
then I told that to the people, well, the animal is fine. Well, no, not really. It's not eating, it's apathic. It's impossible that the animal is fine. And I started thinking, well, I'm doing something wrong here.
Mm.
What is
Yeah.
it? I went almost crazy. I go like, I don't have a clue what's happening here, like. And then I came across a book by Osho. I don't know if you have heard of Osho. Osho was an Indian guy, and he wrote several books. And he's got a book called The Here and Now. And since in order to communicate with animals, you need to be in the here and now. You need to be in the moment, and not
Mm-hmm.
in the past, not in the future. You need to be in the moment in order to be able to communicate with animals. So I thought, that's an interesting title. So I grabbed the book, opened it up, and the first chapter really got my interest. It
Mm.
said, "Death, the biggest lie of humanity." And I thought, that's interesting. So I grabbed the book, I read the book. The book is about dying and the experiences after death and how to die and, and he talks about humans. He doesn't talk about animals. But he says something in his book that people identify themselves with their bodies. And then I said, oh, people identify themselves with their bodies. Animals don't. And I make contact with the being,
Yeah,
So obviously, if I ask the being, how are you? The being is good. It's fine.
right. Even though their body's dying.
So I said, okay, so I need to change the question.
Yeah.
So I need to change, how is your body doing? And then I started to get the right answers,
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, the animal is fine, but the body has a problem.
Yeah.
So we can learn a lot here from the animals, We shouldn't identify with our bodies, not at all. Our bodies is a vehicle that
Yeah.
allows us to be here to make experiences here on Earth. We're gonna leave it.
Yeah. It's
And
the
I mean,
whole,
and the same way you take care of your car, you should take care of your body as well. Your car is a vehicle, your body is a vehicle.
yeah. Yep. Cars need fuel, cars need oil, cars need to be washed.
Yeah. Cars need to be taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever had an experience, on the topic of we are not our bodies? I mean, when it comes down to it, everything is energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. And so have you ever had an experience or multiple experiences where an animal has left its body and you were still able to communicate with it?
Oh yeah, I that's no problem to communicate with an animal that has left its body. A lot of my animal mentors are not in their body anymore, and I communicate with them almost daily.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Awesome. What about people?
same thing.
Yeah?
Same thing. Yeah, I can communicate with people as well, but I don't do it.
Hmm.
And the reason why I don't do it, well, I have done it in occasions. I do it with my mom. That's no problem.
Yeah.
But and I've done it with a mother from a client of mine. Well, she asked me to, and I knew that lady when she was in her body.
Hmm.
So, but the reason I don't do it with humans is because some of them are still very confused,
Hmm.
sort of.
Yeah.
And that was also something, it was funny. An animal mentor of mine once told me, death is a skill, dying is a skill that needs to be learned. Okay, when I hear you hear that for the first time, you think, what?
Yeah.
Dying is a skill that needs to be learned. Okay. Now, sometime later, I came across that book from Osho,
Mhm.
and he writes the same thing. Isn't that crazy? He writes, most people don't know how to die. And I'm like, oh, well, that sounds familiar. Most people don't realize that they are dying, what's happening until 3 seconds before they really go.
Mm.
Well, animals know it beforehand because there is a preparation time. There is something you need to do in order to be able to go
Yeah.
in harmony and in peace. And when I read that, and when my animal mentor told me that, I said, ooh, do you know what? I have never encountered an animal soul that has not been able to move on. But I have encountered human souls. And that is the explanation for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the reason why I usually don't do it with humans.
That makes sense. And I love that you bring up like animals know when they're going. Even like with my cat 3 weeks ago when she was dying, it's like she knew to wake me up. You know,
Yes.
she woke me up and she panted for about an hour and then she just left. And she kept hissing. I could tell she was scared. But I could also tell she knew what was going on. So it was such a sad and both sad and interesting, amazing experience. Because I've dealt with a lot of death in my life, and just that particular one was shocking, beautiful, sad, all of the above,
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then 2 days later, we found a cat that was stuck in a tree. And now she lives with us. Like, I have a tendency to rescue cats.
Oh, wow. Well, that's nice.
But it felt like everybody said the same thing. Like, everybody felt like my old cat, Metallica, her name was Metallica. Everyone felt like she sent the new kitty. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it could very well be. Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So, do you have a story? This is a podcast of stories. Do you have a story that you experienced in your life or something that happened to you that kind of shaped who you are and or kind of changed the way you look at the world?
Well, I think my story started, well, this story started when I became an animal communicator. Basically, I became an animal communicator because I wanted to talk to animals. And I wanted to help people understand their animal companions better. That was basically my idea why I became an animal communicator. Never, ever in my whole life would I have imagined how much I have learned from animals. I mean, my horizon has expanded immensely. It's, amazingly. And I have a so-called dream team. And my dream team has been growing through the years. I've got 11 members in my dream team now. Those are all animals that help me with my work. And I've got one animal called Spot. He used to be a rabbit. When he was in a body, he used to be a rabbit. And he is a philosopher and mentor. And I've written a book with him, actually. So I've written a book with him. Right now we're writing a second book. And he has showed me and told me so many things. It's just amazing. And then I have another dream team member who's called Luna. Luna used to be a rabbit as well. She's the partner from Spot. And Luna is my shaman and medicine woman. She knows a lot about natural healings and plants and things like that. Now, there are people that actually call me not to talk with their animals. They call me to ask Spot something or to ask Luna something. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Could Luna have a look at this and this problem? Or could Spot tell us, what to do in this and this situation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have learned so many things from the animals. They have a totally different view on life, and they have a much more a much deeper connection with the earth than we have. We always, when I hear people talk, they talk about like we have to go back to the roots. We have to go back to nature. You don't have to go back to nature. You are nature. We are part of nature. We have to realize that we are part of nature. We don't have to go back. We don't have to go anywhere. We just have to realize and become aware that we are part of the earth, that we are part of nature, that we play a part in this whole planet. We are not here on earth and to just use the earth as a resource. You know, it's like we are here to live with the earth, to support the earth. The earth is supporting us, so we are here to support the earth. The animals are here to support the earth. We are here to support each other. There is no species that is better than the other. Every species on earth, every species has its place. Every species knows what to do, but humans.
Yeah.
And that's what you can learn from animals.
Yeah. I love it too, because it's this constant, like, it's the ins and outs of energy, like the moving energy on the earth. And then also, like, when we die, our bodies become part of the earth, and that helps, you know, like plant life grow, or, you know, it's all like this continuous cycle, and we're all part of each other. Aren't we made of stardust? I heard somewhere we're made of stardust.
What I have learned from different sources, but also from Spot, is that we are consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Now, everything is consciousness, and there is active consciousness and passive consciousness. And the passive consciousness are things.
Yeah.
And active consciousness is living, is, you know, like living things, living beings.
Yeah.
And everything is actually one. There are no things, there's just one.
Yeah.
And what we are experiencing here is an illusion. If we go into the quantum field, I mean, in the quantum field, everything is possible. You have all situations, all options are there.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I do have one more question for you, which I ask everyone at the end of every episode, and that is, if you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
Respect each other, no matter which species. If you really want to be respected, you have to respect first. Otherwise, it's not going to work. A lot of people think, I want my dog or my cat or whatever animal to respect me. Well, first you have to respect your animal. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And it goes for everybody. We have to respect nature, respect animals, no matter the species. Yeah, respect each other.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Paloma Bärtschi signing off. Until next time.